weather's turned and it's even started to snow a little bit. Nothing's on the ground yet, but it's coming. I've resolved I cannot spend another winter out here without a heating system in the shop. I jumped in my truck, headed south to the Hamilton area, went to the offices of Reflected Heat Design. This company focuses on radiant tube heating systems for shops, garages, companies, etc.
You hook it under there, and then this part here, you don't grab it out here. You grab it close and you clip it underneath like that.
Yep.
Okay. Now this is kind of fixed to the tube enough. Your reflector's in here, remember?
Right.
Then I give you there's screws in there that self-thread.
Okay.
And you screw them in to pinch the reflector, and that way the reflector now can't move.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. So now remember.
I loaded up the pickup truck and headed back to Merrickville.
Hey everyone, the old truck is clearing the Skyway. What you can tell behind me is some really bad weather over there in Hamilton, and as you look forward towards Burlington and beyond, it is sunny.
5 hours later, I was back at the reboot, and my mind was turning to the issue of installing this fantastic system.
You'll see I've got 5 sheets of OSB on the ground. Why the 4x8 sheets of oriented strand board? Because the backing material on the insulation, both in the walls here and in the ceilings, is this plastic material with a tube heater, a radiant heat tube running along the roof, anywhere from 12 to 18 inches hanging from the roof. You will not burn that material, but it will cause sagging, and that could cause a problem. That sagging could actually drop onto the hood around the radiant tube, and it's all very...
This type of wood product is an approved barrier material for radiant tube heaters.
There you go. That's the initial first steps to getting ready to put this heating system in place. Getting these painted up and hopefully hanging them in the next day or so. Hi everyone, next morning here at the reboot. Peter here at the reboot. I've rented myself a panel lift. It's 14 feet capacity, so I've got 12-foot ceilings in here, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to try to get these 5 panels up on the roof. As I mentioned earlier in the video, these provide a combustible barrier up against the softer material that makes up the ceiling insulation. So let's get ready. I need to load up a board on there, fire up the air compressor, and get the scaffolding in place. So bear with me and let's see how challenging this is to get these boards up. This will be the first sheet I've ever done like this, ever installing something on a roof in this manner, and using one of these panel lifts. As you can see, painted side, non-painted side, which will go up against the roof surface itself. And I'm sure that the first couple of sheets are going to be full of learning. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, guys. Should I have moved it into place before, etc., etc.? You know, first time using it. Am I about getting ready to have this fall on my head? I do not know. Let's see what happens. Okay, everyone, that is pretty close to where I want that sheet. Obviously, I've got to get up there and muscle it around a bit, but in terms of the level of difficulty of mounting or putting a sheet like that up there, these lifts, wow, that was easy. Complete beginner to there. Now, obviously, I've got to get it straightened out, line it up the way I want it. So I'm going to get my scaffolding in place so I can move this around a bit. Okay, let's see if this comes down okay. Well, I call that success. So I've got 5 sheets up there. Again, this is a combustible barrier between the burning tube and the reflect shield, which aims all the heat down, of course. But that prevents the plastic backing from sagging. It doesn't melt the plastic backing of the insulation rolls, but it would make it sag. Saggy can lead to problems. So anyways, 5 in a row, straight, right down the middle of the building. That took me about 2 hours. I thought it was going to take me a full day, even with the panel lift. So if you've got a ceiling job you need to do that requires lifting drywall and other types of sheets into place, do not hesitate to rent yourselves one of these panel lifts. Fantastic little piece of equipment. Okay. I purchased my system from Reflected Heat Design. You can see it right here on the manual that I've got. Mine is a Model 10 and it's a 60, which means that I think that when it comes on, when the gas heater comes on and ignites, it actually comes on at 60,000 BTUs. The reflector orientation, I'm going to do mine exactly like this, straightforward, simple approach to doing it. You've got these different types of orientations. For example, this one you can hang it on an angle.
You can hang them side by side. You can have two tubes running side by side. Lots of options with this. Mine is 20 feet long. Let's get to it and open up the boxes and see what this equipment looks like.
And then, so what you've got in here is the money. These two big 10-foot tubes. I think this end is already fitted for the exhaust. And of course, this end has the flange that connects up to what is the real money, the heating box right here with the brains and the gas connection. It's going to be interesting to see if I can get one of those up there by myself. The engineer said it shouldn't be a problem. I've got a scaffolding. I'm interested to take one out and just see how heavy it is. Let's have fun. Let's have some fun here. Not light, but definitely manageable. I should be able to get that up there by myself. 10-foot heating tube with the flange here that mounts onto the heating box itself. The manual is very clear on this, but also the tech support people, when I picked it up, re-emphasized this fact. But this line right here, I don't know if everybody can see that. It's that shiny line, goes all the way down. That's the weld. And so the manual and the tech support people, they say that is to be facing down towards the foundation. It's the weak point in this pipe. And so they don't want that up top, which is the hottest part of the pipe is on the surface, on the top surface of the pipe, which makes sense. Next step in this exercise is to use this hardware that you're seeing laid out here. I'll come back to that in a second. And mount that hardware in the ceiling into the trusses, actually, that are obviously behind those sheets and obviously behind the insulation. I have 2x6 trusses up there. So that's an important thing to note. I have 2x6 trusses. And I've been talking with the engineers at this company where I purchased this heating system, their support team, in terms of how to hang it. And so based on their analysis of the trusses in my ceiling, I'm going to go with these 3/8, I can't remember if those are 8 inches long eye-lag screws. So I'm going to do a pilot hole into the truss and then put those lag screws in. And then I'm going to use these buckles, turnbuckles, hang those as well. That'll give me the ability to adjust the height of the unit as it hangs. And again, for everybody to understand, it's called a radiant heat. Some people call it a tube heater. So that's what the tubes actually look like. I've got 20 feet of tube in mine, and then the control box, the heat box, where the flame is, where the gas comes into, will be hanging on one end. There's a picture of the heat box itself. You've probably seen these kinds of heating systems in large box stores. Things like Home Depot has them, Canadian Tire have them up here in Canada. And then back to the hardware page in terms of hanging this system from the ceiling. And so when you get a system like this, or you start to hang things that require certain amounts of loads. For example, each one of these has to be able to carry a load of 150 pounds. And that's from the lag screw through the turnbuckle and then the quick links. And so everything I have, I think these are rated for 1,000, maybe 800, and I think these are rated for 400. So I'm well above that 150 limit that the instructions call for. You can see I'm standing up here on the scaffolding. I'm showing you this bit because what I did was climbed up here on the scaffolding. Hopefully you guys can see that. Went through, well, first of all, did some measurements on side to side, located the truss behind the insulation. Went through the OSB sheet with this bit, with this hole saw, and then drilled the pilot, as you saw before, with that bit. That focuses with that bit there. Don't think that focused. And then screwed in the lag screw with the eye using the garage door tensioner bar. So I've got to do that 2 more times. And yeah, I've been hanging off this. I had the bar in there suspending my full weight. That sucker isn't going anywhere. Securely anchored in the truss, running side to side, sidewall in the building, and it's a 2x6 in there. That's solid 3/8, 1,000 pounds. I only need 150. A little overkill. I like it. And here's what I've managed to do. So this is the actual hanger that the tube sits in. Heat deflector, quick connect. What do we call this? We call this a turnbuckle, another quick connect, and then the 3/8 eye lag screw into the truss. So there, that's the first one in. Got to do 2 more like this just to hold up the heating system itself. The venting will come off the heating system and go out that far wall. It is a snug fit, and it does not slide very easily, but we'll get this done. I got it 4 inches through the other one. All right. This is the coupler between the 2 10-foot sections. Just slides on. It's very loose right now. And I've got the nuts at 9 o'clock. Okay, so this second pipe is heavier. I think the main reason is because it has a baffle halfway down the 10 feet. That's what that cap there. Not only is that the cap that holds the baffle in place, but it's also the reducer to the exhaust pipe that went on. It will head out that back end wall. So actually, maybe it's the same weight. I'm just getting a little bit tired as the day wears on. All right. Wheels are locked. Up we go. see if I can get this hung. I'll be impressed if I can. Loosen this to let this come down. Thank goodness for the turnbuckle. Okay, I've got the two sections of pipe up there. The coupling there is not secured, and as you can see, that hanger's at a bit of an odd angle, so I've got some work to do. I'm going to sort that out, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I like where that is. I may tighten that turnbuckle and that turnbuckle eventually to bring it up. It's literally probably an inch out over the 20 feet, which is allowable in the specifications. I'm pointing over there because that's where the manual is. But I do think I can bring it up to make it a little bit more level. And right now I'm going to give it a shot of trying to get that burner box installed. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to try. Boy, got a flange that doesn't want to fit. There we go. All right, we got one that's in. Two nuts and washers that are on. Three of four on. I'll bring you guys up here to show you what I was working on. Not the easiest thing to do, but that is safe and that's not coming down right now. Let's get that washer that fell. Then we'll tighten those up.